James Carter TV here to recap the Monday Night Football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Diego Superchargers. Although they weren't very super here tonight on Monday Night Football, this was a game that was kind of boring and kind of odd throughout most of the first three quarters. And then the fourth quarter really picked up. Both the Chargers and the Steelers started scoring points abundantly. And the Steelers scored points in just quick bursts and spurts, while the Chargers had long, methodical drives. Phillip Rivers looking like a sheriff out there offensively. Unfortunately, his offensive line is so beat up and so banged up, they can't really win games right now. This has to be a very disappointing loss for the San Diego Chargers, as they lose to a team that they will be competing for a wild card spot for week 16, 17, and 15 probably. And I do believe that ultimately the Chargers will be in that playoff mix, but man, this is a loss that you cannot afford, as next week I believe you are going to Green Bay. Let me check on that real quick. You're probably not going to win that game. Now, I do say probably because the San Diego Chargers have a history of playing up and down to talent. Today they play down, but next week if they go to Green Bay, they could play up to talent, and they could play better than their talent is, and they could win that game. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm not going to predict that. But it's just something you have to look out for and account for. But ultimately, the Steelers are still going to stumble with Michael Vick. This was a nice win for them to get. And with the Bengals being as dominant as they are, they need to have their eyes set on a wild card berth. I don't see any way, unless the Bengals get injured or just choke the hell out of this AFC North, I don't see any way the Bengals do not win the AFC North. So if you're a Steelers fan, or if you're a Steelers team, or any player or personnel, anything, you have to have your sights set on this AFC wildcard position, and this was a big win between two teams that look to be in that playoff mix coming the last weeks of the season. Michael Vick was not very impressive today to me. Now, in the fourth quarter, he did make like 4 throws, one of which, one drive, the big long throw to Martavis Bryant. Okay. And then on the very last drive, he led the team down and they scored a touchdown. Okay, that's fine. I'm still not convinced that they can win games with Michael Vick. They won one today. They may win one more, but I'd be even shocked if they won one more. Now, I don't know where the timetable now is with Ben Roethlisberger. It was initially a 4 to 6 week injury. We are now 2 weeks into that, so we'll see how things progress from here. Next week, they host the Arizona Cardinals. I believe the Arizona Cardinals are going to go there. They're going to win in Pittsburgh. But hey, at least you got your one win with Michael Vick. The main thing I wanted to see, just win one game with him and just compete in the other ones. They're doing that so far. And I'm not sure who they face the week after this. Let me check real quick. They go up against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Kansas City is reeling. So maybe with Michael Vick, you can go to Kansas City and win. And then after that, Ben Roethlisberger should be back in the mix. But this is a big win. Now, the Steelers are once again in this AFC wildcard race with the Buffalo Bills, with the New York Jets. And I think that's really it. Now, that's pretty much really it. I mean, I don't see any other teams that are really in this playoff mix. It's the Bills, it's the Jets, it's the Chargers. They'll stick around, but they have to make up some ground. They have to win some games that they were not supposed to win. And let me go to their schedule real quick, the regular season schedule, to see what wins they're going to have to get if they want to remain in the discussion for an AFC wildcard. But right now, 2-3 start. I may have to bet against it now. So, like I said, next week they go to the Packers. That'll be difficult. But then after that, they host the Raiders. You have to win that. You go to the Ravens. You have to win that. And then the next 3 games after that are very winnable, as you host the Bears, the Chiefs, and you go to the Jaguars. So maybe I'm a little quick to put the dagger and the stake in the San Diego Chargers. There are definitely winnable games here, and you have to like the fact that Melvin Gordon was getting involved in the offense, that sooner or later your offensive line should be healthy, and that should help your offense tremendously. So, let's hold off on killing the Chargers for right now. They can still win some games. They're going to lose next week, most likely, but down the road, you're going to have to get some wins you didn't think you could get, and you're going to have a better record than the Steelers if it comes down to that, and that has to be slightly worrisome. That's pretty much all my takeaways from this game. I really can't comment on anything else. Mike Tomlin, the final call to have a wildcat play for Le'Veon Bell to go into the end zone. 5 seconds left on the clock. I would have kicked. Actually, no, I would not have kicked the field goal. I would have thrown a quick slant. I would have done a quick slant all day, every day. That'll take 3 seconds off the clock max. If you miss it, kick the field goal. Running the ball, I thought that was way too risky. I wouldn't have done it. And I understand it worked. I understand it worked. It was great. That's fine. That's great. I still wouldn't have done it. If we had to do it again right now, I wouldn't do it. I would kick the field goal yet again. I don't care that it worked. I think it's too risky. I think the chances of that working are like 33%. Nah, give me the 66% that it's not going to work each and every day, and I'll bet on that, and I'll win 66% of the time. It worked for this time. Mike Tomlin's very aggressive. It worked for him today, and this is a big win for the Steelers. A hurtful loss for the Chargers. They're going to have to get on a little bit of winning streak, but looking at their schedule, I believe they can. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.